Hey there, gladiators. Welcome to the Scandal After Show here at theStream.tv. I'm your host, Jocelyn Polite. Let me start with that. I'm your host, Jocelyn Polite, and I am joined by my co-host over here to my left is Janessa.
Hello, everybody. I'm Janessa, and I thought this episode was funny and drama and everything good that I like about TV.
And to my right, as always, is Jillian.
Hey guys, Jillian Fleischman here. $5 to anyone who can make us a GIF of the Jake Olivia dancing scene before this episode's over, because that was my favorite part.
And the guy that puts up with all of us, Jason.
Hi, I'm Jason, and I learned today that I don't want to piss Olivia off because I don't want to be called a little bitch baby.
Good point.
Where the hell is Olivia? Where did she go? I was so shocked by that ending. I thought that, just even before we get into all of this, I totally thought that like Jake was gonna die or something, and then Olivia gets taken. Where the hell is Olivia? And now we have to sit on this forever. Well, this is our winter finale tonight, and I don't even know where to go because, first of all, I have to say that this one was a little anticlimactic for me. I really enjoyed last week's better. But before we get into all that, I'm sorry, tweet us using the hashtag ScandalAS and join the conversation on the stream's YouTube chat. We're going to read some questions later on in the show, and we would love to read your question on the show tonight. So remember, ScandalAS. So like I said, this one, I wasn't as up as last week.
I really liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought that I hadn't seen an episode like this, I mean, ever, kind of. I mean, it was funny, and it kept me off of my seat, and I was like, I just thought it was awesome.
Yeah. That was the thing about this episode. It was kind of humorous at the same time as being kind of like exciting, but then I feel like halfway through it slowed down, especially at the point where Olivia, not to reiterate, started badgering Cy, telling him that he was a little bitch baby, and then it just kept going downhill, and then the ending was just lackluster for me. I wanted more.
Highlight of the episode was Mama Pope's little line. What was that again? Move on.
Wait a minute. Let's get into Olivia because we're going to talk about all that. Let's get into Olivia. What is Command's plan for Olivia? Because he was lurking tonight, and I thought he was done.
I don't know. For this show, Scandal was so crazy the last 2 weeks that I was expecting so much to happen from the very end, from the beginning to the end. I was just watching this not knowing what was going to happen. Like, I was immediately nervous and jittery. So that's why it was funny, and I didn't know what was really going on. But I genuinely have no idea. Command now to me is like in the wind. I have like so many questions.
That Pope versus Pope face-off, though, I was like, ooh, I love this right now.
Hashtag Pope versus Pope.
Exactly, it's trending actually.
But it should be hashtag Pope versus Pope, but no one died.
But no one died. I can't believe she actually pulled the trigger. I think he's gone. I don't think he's going to do anything to her anymore. I think he's disappointed in his daughter. He's just off.
I don't think, you know what? I don't think that he can leave her alone. I just really don't. And the fact, I mean, just jumping ahead to her now, we don't know where she is. I don't think he's going to be able to just be like, well, I don't care about her anymore. I mean, he said at the table, we thought he was done last week, you know, and so then he's like shows up in her house looking at old records. So I don't know if he's actually done.
Right, and even after she pulled the trigger, he was still talking about the record.
But he was so hurt by that.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw tears in his eyes. I feel like everything that he's done, he's always justified as being for Olivia and doing for her like the best thing because he puts her before everything else. And then that her pulling the trigger was a sign that she was against him. And that all of a sudden was, wait, no, now I'm rejected.
And when he said all that stuff, like, it's like looking into a mirror, you're the one who doesn't have a heart. I was like, oh, mind blown. That is so true. She doesn't have a heart. No. She does not a love. That's it. She does not a love.
The craziest part of that conversation.
Or commit. She doesn't, I mean, she doesn't understand the true, I don't think she understands the true definition of what it's like to commit also. So, yeah, he kind of read her.
The craziest part of that conversation for me was that they were trying to kind of one-up each other, but it was like one-ups on truth. Like, they were one said a truth, and one said a bigger truth, and one said another one, and then it just got all about the truth, and it was too much to handle, I think, for her.
I think his heart literally broke when she pulled the trigger, because a little side of him, I mean, he went knowing that it could go down. That's probably why he took the bullets out. But a little part of him was hoping she would not pull the trigger and actually recognize that this man did everything for you.
Well, it was the test, and she failed.
Crazy. His reaction was like heartbreaking, and I was like, oh, I don't like Olivia
What did you hear him
anymore.
yell? He was like, oh!
He called her ungrateful, which I think is very like symbolic of what that whole thing was, because he feels like he's done everything for her. We know he's such a bad guy, but the way that he justifies it is that he's doing it for her. Whatever she wants, she gets.
At the end of the day, it was his job to do that. I mean, but he never did anything bad towards Olivia. So that's why he's
he didn't have to
disappointed.
kill the son. He did it because Olivia wanted Fitz in the White House.
You know, sometimes you get mad at, you know, your job and
Which was a little extreme.
you
of
break
him.
some rules.
Right, so extreme.
Well,
Yeah.
Olivia, one thing that it was great tonight that you alluded to is that Mama Pope is back. I loved
Yes.
seeing her because I love Maya Pope. She was so sassy and funny tonight, and the thing that she said was, "Girl, you need to move on."
Yes.
I love that line.
Girl, you need to move on.
And
Oh my
what was the
gosh,
other-
that was amazing. I'm never gonna forget that line.
And when Liv tried to pull the whole like quivering lip, like I'm gonna cry for you, mommy, so you do what I say, and she was like, "Cry me a river."
Do you guys remember when we had the conversation a couple weeks ago about where Mama Pope was going to be, and is she locked in the hole the whole time, and would she be broken? And we were all like, no. She got a sense of humor too while she was locked in that
did.
hole,
She
because
was being real.
I loved seeing her kind of try and build Olivia up, and Olivia almost didn't want to admit that she did that, but then that's the point that she went to Cyrus. It's like she got like her mojo and her courage back because she needed someone to kind of,
And-
you know, tell her what to do.
She was pretty clean to have been in the hole all that time. I don't think
Right.
she, like I said
Yeah.
before,
Am
she
I
was
right?
not in that hole all that time. I just don't believe it. I think that he probably put her somewhere, and you know, maybe she was in and out of the hole, but she was pretty clean.
They
No,
said
she
it,
looked good. She
You
looked really
mentioned
good.
it. Olivia, when she was talking to her mom, said that Papa Pope would come into the hole once a day and take her
Right.
out and talk to her and be like, tell me, I don't know what, they didn't say what they would talk about, but he
Right.
did visit her
Well,
once a day.
They at least opened the hatch so she got a little bit of light every
so
day.
maybe when he opened and smelled a little BO, he was like, okay, you can shower.
It's a little suspension of disbelief when you watch TV when they look that good, when they've
Yeah.
been like that, but just go with it, because Mama Pope is back and she's now the parent for Olivia.
Well, what do you think that Olivia has in store for Mama Pope?
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like now that Olivia doesn't have really a dad and she's kind of mean to her mom, I feel like she's gonna side more with her mom now, and like I don't know, I feel like she's gonna try to have some kind of relationship with her even though she's crazy.
See, I think that now, I think Olivia is very similar to Command. And at the beginning, she was all about trying to have a good relationship with her dad or trying to protect her mom. Now, she kind of doesn't have a heart. And we saw that at the beginning when her mom expected her to stand up for her, and she was like, no, put her away. I think it's interesting now because she's very much on her own in a lot of ways in terms of parenting, and we'll see. I mean, we have to find out where she is.
I just feel
but-
like she is like throwing away her family for, you know,
Right.
like these two men that I just don't understand that. And maybe that's just, you know, I mean, I understand that, okay, I get it. Command, bad guy, he's done some bad things, her mom, terrorist. I get that. I know you guys are going to say something about, but at the same token, like, she just seems to just be like tossing away the family thing. And I did understand what Command said when he said, we are family, like we are blood. Like there's just a degree of, it should be harder to like be against your father and against
I
your
agree.
mom.
She's being a little hypocritical. I mean, yes, her mom was a terrorist, a worldwide terrorist. Her father is the president of the Assassins Club. But Olivia's hands aren't clean.
No.
She's got blood on them. So I agree.
Yeah.
She should try to fight for her family a little bit more, but I think she's just done with it, the whole thing.
Well, I think she clings to the fact that she is a gladiator. Remember, she wears the white and she helps people who need help. So she's always kind of trying to be on the side of what's right. And in this case, Jake and Fitz are the right people, and her parents are the bad people. So she immediately tries to side with them. But now she's kind of on her own and in more ways than one.
Absolutely. And what do you guys think was going on with Abby? Remember when she walked, you know, in and it looked like she was going to walk into the room, and then all of a sudden she just stopped. I mean, was she giving Abby her moment?
I mean, I feel like she didn't feel like she had a place in that room, and I feel like she didn't want to mess with Fitz or like cause any attention to herself. I just felt like it would have been uncomfortable and awkward if she went into the room, and I'm glad she didn't. And
Interestingly, there was nothing in this episode with Olivia and Fitz, like their relationship. So this episode,
And I could bear
wasn't-
it.
Right. No,
And I enjoyed it
And I thought it was
still.
a good
Oh,
choice
God.
because I mean, it got us to kind of see that she does have true feelings for Jake, which we haven't really heard her say before. But I think going in that room would have created more of like that tension with she and Fitz, and it was nice that she actually gave Abby that moment to, you know, feel credible.
I think that room kind of represented a little bit of like the bubble of innocence, because like everyone in that room was like having fun. There was champagne, whiskey, and like, oh my God, we won this one. And Olivia has now been like, her eyes have been opened to this other world without her father, and she's becoming her father, and what is she going to do now? So I feel like it was very symbolic, her not going in and taking charge of her own life.
Yeah, that
True.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And also speaking, good point, Jason.
Yeah, well said.
And also
Thank you.
speaking of
Bye-bye.
Jake, has the sun gone down on Jake? Because he was almost shot, which that was scary for me because I love him.
I wanted it to happen so bad.
No, he was so good.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
God, no, him dancing, that was the best
I
part
mean,
of
and
my
these
week.
kill cards,
I
are
bet the
being
gift is
issued
made
out.
by now, by the way. I bet your gift is made.
Yes, please, tweet me.
Well, a couple of things about Jake. One, that he was almost shot, which was like scary. And the second thing, and he shot him back. Go, Jake, he's good. And the other thing is, should Jake just join OPA? Because him and Huck were on the phone. He just looked right at home in OPA.
I feel like OPA is not that cool right now. Like
Yeah.
they're not that official. I don't know. They're not like. I feel like Jake can do better.
Yeah.
I feel like Jake is in charge. I just feel like he's driving the whole ship now.
Yeah.
I loved seeing him be proactive and do everything he's always done. But with his scene with Olivia, when she admitted what she wanted, I liked that he was like, all right, like, I'm going for it. But
See, I didn't I'm so frustrated because Olivia, when the whole dancing scene, at first I thought, this is so cute. I loved it. They were dancing. It just looked adorable. There was
Well,
food.
I've never
weird
seen
to
her
me.
like
It
that.
was
Yeah.
weird,
It was
but
a
I
little
just
weird.
I was into it. And then all of a sudden, like, he's saying, I love you. And I'm like, wow, what a moment. And then she's just like, I want Vermont with Fitz.
Right.
And I want to be in the sun with you. I mean, come on, Liv. Like, should he walk away from her at this point?
he should always have walked away from her.
Yeah.
I think there's no debate that she doesn't really want him first. But what I really liked was that she chose something. Because every week I think we say she has to choose, she has to choose. Well, she chose herself now with getting a little bit of both. At least we
Here's
got
the
some
thing
sort of
about
closure
that.
on that.
I've always been anti-Jake, and everybody who watches this knows, and you guys know. But at that moment, when she told him to his face, I want both of you guys, I was like, you stand your ground and you fight for her.
You wanted Jake to fight for her.
Yeah.
And I wanted the same thing. And I thought, don't sit up there and let somebody tell you that they want you and somebody else. I mean, the nerve of you. And how rude. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's
Exactly.
like, I'm sitting here in your house,
I
we're
mean-
dancing, we're enjoying a moment, and I appreciate your honesty, but at the same time, good Lord, like,
I feel like even if she just said, I want to go to Vermont with Fitz, he still would have been like, I don't care, I love you. But like, at least she said, like, I want to be in the sun
Yeah,
with you.
because she always has been on both sides. She's with him. She's never been fully into him. So the whole thing about saying that she wanted Fitz, I don't think was a surprise to him. But I think that her admitting that she wanted something with him too was a validation of her feelings for him, which we haven't seen before. But I kind of think she was having a breakdown in that whole thing.
I still
And the
wanted him.
dancing and the music
I
and the
still wanted
wine
him
and the
shot at
burger.
the end of the day, but
Oh my God, we all were sitting like we thought that he was gonna get shot. When he,
I didn't.
when he went in the room.
I didn't think he was gonna
Oh my
get
God.
shot. I thought I thought something was gonna happen to Olivia, because I mean, he can protect himself, first of all. Like, we saw him shoot the guy from behind. I definitely expected Olivia something to
I
happen.
thought he was getting
You were
shot through
right.
that window when he went
Yeah.
into the blanket. Oh my God.
Well, I'm glad he wasn't shot. Love him to death.
Me
But
too.
first, we want to give a Facebook shout out to Scandal It's Handled. Scandal It's Handled on Facebook. Great conversations, great pictures. It's a great blog that's up on there. And so you want to check that out and follow them and get involved with Scandal It's Handled. All right. So, Cyrus, he's not a bitch baby.
no, apparently
No,
not.
he's not.
That was the funniest scene. I could not stop laughing. That
I
whole
agree.
bitch baby. First of all, Olivia was screaming this entire episode. Like she screamed
She seemed
the
so
entire.
happy. Like she was like, I'm so happy and finally screaming at
She was
somebody.
just
letting it
so
all out.
erratic and out of control to
Yeah.
me. She was just hollering and screaming at everybody, and I guess it was effective with Cyrus.
Right.
Well, yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
honestly, I think Cyrus was acting like a baby. You know, I thought he was.
Cyrus has had so many ups and downs this season, and he was really all over the place with losing his husband, and I felt so bad for him that he was going to lose his job. But then I remembered, oh wait, he's done a lot of really horrible things too, where he probably deserves to lose his job. But I mean, the relationship between he and Olivia is something that goes back and forth a lot. So I liked that she kind of built him up and reminded him where he truly belongs.
Well, were you convinced when he resigned? Because I totally was not convinced. I knew.
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
I
I
thought
wasn't
he was
convinced.
like, I'm giving this to you. Feel bad for me. I don't really want to, but I
beg
am.
for me back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
did feel like he was a little weak this episode, but his reasoning for at first not taking the arranged marriage,
Oh,
I guess to call
totally,
it,
yeah.
was on point because he was a man who struggled for 40 years with his identity, and to be forced into a fake relationship now, it's kind of like continuing the whole pattern of being untrue to yourself.
Oddly, he had the best morals of this whole episode, which is
Yeah,
rare
that's
because
insane.
rare because he was the one with the church and the bomb and waiting to tell Fitz so Sally Langston would die. I mean, all of that stuff was Cyrus. So
I mean, he took
Yeah.
the deal at the end, so
Yeah, I
apparently
was
his
just about to
morals
say.
aren't that
Right,
solid.
right.
He
but-
had a great
and for
moment.
those few minutes,
those, like, 2
he
seconds.
triumphed.
He did.
Exactly.
He had great morals for 2 seconds. We went to commercial. He came back, and then the moment
was
was
gone.
gone.
Right.
But do we think that he actually could survive, or could the administration survive without Cyrus? Just
No.
like, given that he resigned,
No.
absolutely not.
No, because
No, we saw Fitz come back.
yeah,
We saw Fitz
I
come
don't
back
know.
into Cyrus's office and be like, "Now, can you tell me what to do with West-Angola?"
Right.
They
Do
Do
don't
you
know what
guys
to
think
do
he
without
can
him.
survive in the fake marriage?
Yeah,
Ooh.
he's survived multiple murders.
Tell me
before.
what you guys
I
think.
think somehow he'll work it out with that guy.
Yeah, he'll work it out.
You think so?
I mean, it's not like they have a lackluster sex
They're-
life.
Right.
I kind of wanted Michael to go
It
away.
was a mulligan.
Somehow he'll be
Funny
okay.
day.
They'll be fine.
There's trust issues there.
Well, but did you see those pictures? They have some fun.
Every relationship on this show is fake.
Yeah.
So
well,
I mean, it just that's
Besides
all
They'll
it
work
Olivia
it out.
Fitz, right? Is that fake? Like, that's real, right?
That's real.
well, make sure that you join the conversation right now on. Make sure you join the conversation on YouTube and on Twitter, and please tweet us using the hashtag #ScandalAS. You can tweet in your questions. It's not too late. We're going to read some at the end. We're just getting into this conversation. There's so much to talk about, so make sure you get your questions into us. So let's move into what is Quinn up to? Quinn kicked some ass tonight.
Yeah, she was a badass, as I think that she has become permanently on the show. It was so funny when she was in the car with Charlie and she said, "Oh, they're coming after us." I was like, "Wait, you're not really
Yeah, you're
in
not
B613."
B613.
Yeah.
But
You
then
are.
she was right. She was.
Yeah.
And that scene where she kicked Charlie's butt, I was all about it.
Yeah, I'm always like, Quinn, like, oh, you're not really all, you think you're so cool, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, when she
Yeah.
said, oh, they're coming after us, I thought he was laughing because he was like, you're not really in it.
Right.
And then she actually, like, could fight, and I was like, oh, wait, respect. You
Yeah.
can fight, girl.
Yeah.
Good for
storyline
you.
She's done a lot
confuses
better
me.
than she has in the past. I mean, I kind of like, I'm into Quinn this season. She's like taking charge of everything. I just don't understand why she keeps pulling like her thing with Charlie. I don't understand. Why is Charlie back? What is he doing here? I'm
He
so
was
sick of
back
Charlie.
because they needed someone to present Huck with files to get that storyline out of the way with Huck and his baby mama. That's the only reason Charlie came back.
Okay, but let's say this.
There's no other
Why
point.
is Charlie giving this information? Like, Charlie is 100% B613, right? And
Yeah.
so he knows that she is working with OPA and everything. So I don't even understand why Charlie is even giving information like that. I mean, is he a little sprung?
I think that like the whole B613
Oh, yeah.
thing
What
is
does
kind of up in
sprung
the air.
mean?
Meaning,
He's-
like, he's just in, like, somehow he's under Quinn's spell.
Well, yeah, he
you
said
know?
that he I mean, after they
Sprung.
did their fighting, whatever, they were talking about his family, like they were having a normal conversation.
It was
so
weird.
So clearly he does have feelings for her. I think B613 is just everywhere right now.
My
and
question-
Command had him get the file, so why not keep a few?
That's part of my question right there. Why is Command so like trusting of Charlie, even though he keeps failing time and time again with all of his B613 missions? Like, he never fully goes through with them. But then he's not the one being killed off by B613, blah, blah, blah. B613. They're hiring him to do the killing.
Yeah.
Right.
And he again failed.
I feel like Quinn has taken a token from everybody. She's like learned how to sprung men.
Nice
And
use
from
for it.
Olivia, she's learned how to be a little spy like Huck, and she's learning all their ways. So I feel like she's just kind of like the mesh of all of them.
By the way, I was waiting for that card with Huck's face to come out. I just have to say, because he was in B613 too, and I was waiting for that moment.
Yeah.
But didn't
And-
happen, thank gosh.
And poor Huck. Let's talk about Huck and the whole situation with him. But we're going to get to that, and we're going to get to some of your questions as soon as we come back. So we'll be right back. We'll be back right after this.
just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Just in case you missed it live.
Oh, just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, I'm doing something right now.
So we're all super excited.
So this is dancing.
So what would that be, like a 7?
I cannot. I literally cannot. You guys have got to get it together.
Don't hate the player, don't hate the game. Hate the contract you didn't get.
He's a coward. He's a giant chicken shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's gonna be like hurricane. Whoa.
Watch out for those girls. They are gagging them.
Hold the phone.
Hold on.
Bro.
The more brutal you are, the more power you have.
Right.
That was sexy. It was hot. It was heated. I was into it.
You are gonna be the most high-paid hooker in the world.
Go ahead and invite your friends and everybody. Tell your mama, tell them don't go ahead and turn the stove off and get up on the computer so we can get on theStream.tv.
Thank you again for joining us, and until next week, bye-bye.
Remember to follow all your favorite after shows right here on theStream.tv. Okay, so we're going to get into, first I want to give some YouTube shout outs, and I want to thank you for joining us. Sid, I always say Sid, Sil Powell and Nia A. Love having conversations with you on YouTube in the comment sections. Thank you so much for being a big part of the show. All right, so let's start with our fan question number 1. This one's from Lillian HP, who writes, could Rowan be keeping Maya Pope alive as a possible weapon to yield against Fitz?
Totally.
Yeah.
I feel like anything can happen. I have
Yeah.
like no idea what's going to happen now in the rest of the season, but I don't think we're done with Papa Pope. I still think he's going to come back somehow, and what better way, because he's against Olivia now, than to target Fitz.
And to add to that, like, how is it so easy to get to Mama Pope? Like, I would think with Command putting her away and all that kind of stuff, how is it so easy to just get her out?
Well, is B613 done now? Because they just
That's a
good
good
into that
question.
office,
They
like
just-
into Wonderland, like it was nothing.
Yeah, well, the files were empty. The files were blank papers, so I don't think, they don't have any evidence against it, so I don't know.
That's a good question,
Well-
though, because why would, if they took the files, they took everything from the offices, it was completely empty, why would Rowan leave behind his prime, like, prisoner of war for them to find?
But also,
Right.
Charlie said that he moved the files. So he might know where those other files are. He just took a couple. So just because the ones that David got were blank doesn't mean that the other ones are lost.
And that actually is interesting to me because I remember from last episode, all of those files were in Acme boxes,
Yeah.
which is Jake's cover company, right?
Well, that's Wonderland's. Like,
Wonderland.
Yeah,
okay.
the paper
All
company.
right. Good question, Lillian HP.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you
was a
very
good
much.
question.
Okay, our next question is from Chandler J. How much of Olivia's life will change now that Papa Pope has walked away, or has he? That was from last week, and I'm sure, and I
Yeah.
felt the same way. Like, has he really walked away? And no, he has not.
Right.
I don't think that he'll ever walk away.
No.
I think he is a little baby. I'm not gonna
But
say
her
it.
life has made a complete 180 since the whole showdown, so...
Yeah,
her-
because she's gone.
She's on her own
There
now.
are so
She's
many
got to fend for
questions
herself.
about where she is. I don't know who took her. I want to know. It's just crazy. I don't know.
Okay, our next fan question is from @ERLE, which is probably @Earl. Why can't the president just dismiss Command if he no longer wants him in charge of B613? I have
Because-
often wondered that.
Well, B613 is bigger than the President of the United States. It's a global, worldwide company. It's kind of like the New World Order, if you want to think of it like that. They pretty much run operations in every country, from what I understand.
But if that's the case, then who appoints Command?
Well, that was the whole point. He
Command
doesn't answer
does.
to anyone.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing that they went into, I think, last season when he was like saying the dynamic that the president couldn't dismiss him if he wanted to. But I think for so long, Fitz thought that it was Mama Pope, and then he thought it was Jake. He never really thought it was Command who actually killed his son. So for so long, he didn't think that he had any reason to get against him. Now they kind of wanted to take him down because he went after, like he was against Olivia. So it was a way to get revenge.
This is one question that I love because this is something that I have to say from season 1, or actually from season 2, watching it. I've always thought that, like, who put Command in control? Did he just look at his watch and decide? Did he create his own job? Like, I'm wondering who put him in control and who can take him out of control.
I hope they show us. I hope they show us like a little flashback or something of how it all happened. That'd be really cool.
It would be really
I think
cool.
it's kind of like an internal business, like it's passed down to other members of B613 as years progress. like someone he worked for before gave him command.
Right, like Jake became command.
Like
when
Jake became command,
was
exactly.
ousted. Totally.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we have another question from Forever Johnny Boy. Now that we know that it was Andrew that had Olivia abducted, do you think this could result in Pope and Fitz teaming up to rescue her? Could they team? I don't know. They are on the outs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's like just so much, like my mind is going like crazy right now because I feel like this is calling for like a Fitz and a Jake thing to get her back. However, that's not an original thing. So I kind of want them to not do that because the whole love triangle for me has gotten a bit old.
Yeah.
But we'll see because there's no show without Olivia Pope. So,
I mean, we saw from when they were trying to take down command that no one can work together. So what I think is going to happen is Jake is going to be like, I can get her back. And then Fitz is going to be like, I can get her back. And then Abby's going to be like, okay, maybe I can get her back. I think I'm going to try. And then Quinn is going to be like, you guys are not doing it right. I'm going to get her back.
and then Jake
Why'd you give Abby that voice?
Because Abby's always like, okay, maybe I'll do it. So I think they're all going to try to do it individually. And then I don't know if they're going to come together or not, but something big has to happen.
Abby can't go to David now.
No.
Because he knows
That's
about her and Leo.
Because she cheated. Okay, well, we're going to give some Twitter shout-outs to @GloriaCats, @MenOnScandal, and @David16996, who said his mind is blown and this was the best episode ever.
Thank
So,
you.
okay, I agree with you. I think this was a good episode. I liked the one last week a little better.
It was
I
good.
like this one. It was a good episode. You guys need to rewatch it. I thought it was so good.
I liked 2 episodes ago. Episode 7 was my favorite, but I feel like this episode was a little bit slow because at the end, all like this stuff happened that just created so many questions.
Yeah, it did.
Until January 29th, I'm just gonna
But
make
they
a
have to
calendar
do
where
that.
it's one day
Otherwise,
less.
we'd be so satisfied. We'd be like, oh, yay, it was the end of this, the winter finale. But now we're all going to be waiting and counting down the days until they started up again.
The only thing I didn't like, because the episode was pretty good, the only thing I didn't like was the ending where, okay, yeah, they're having fun, dancing, Jake goes off into another room and he comes back and Olivia's gone.
Okay.
Boom, ending. What do you,
True
come
that.
on, give me some action
Honestly,
to end on.
when it ended, I was like, wait, it's over? It ended? Because I didn't think that was going to be the ending.
Well, now what's so great is that we really haven't seen Andrew that much this whole season, and now he's going to be a big player. We didn't know who Lizzie Bear was. We didn't know what she was really after, and now I think we're going to find out a lot more about that.
She doesn't
And
excite me
Andrew
that
is
much.
dirty as hell. I can't. Who knew? I thought he was just like, not that he was totally innocent because he was, doing all kind of things with Mellie in the White House. But I mean, who knew that he's like capable of having Olivia kidnapped, if that's who took her, but we think that is.
Yeah.
And he's like, hanging between Lizzie and Mellie. I mean, Andrew is a character.
But him cheating, the conversation between Mellie and Lizzie made up for it.
That was
because
amazing.
Mellie, so team Mellie after that moment.
The scandal.
I know, it is so much, and we are going to have a ton to talk about. I hate that it came to an end. I mean, this was our winter finale, and I'm like, it seemed like it was so quick. I mean, it's like episode 9, and I'm thinking like, wow, we're going to have a lot to go through when we get back.
I'm going to miss this.
I am
Me
too. But we want to thank you so much for joining us here at theStream.tv and for making us your after show for Scandal. We want to wish you a happy and safe holiday, and we will see you in the new year when Scandal returns. Remember to tweet us using the hashtag ScandalAS, and have a great holiday season. Night, Gladiators.
Happy holidays,
Bye, guys.
everybody.